Hello. Today we're going to discuss the exciting Venus Mercury conjunction on Monday, November 24th, which is really positive for expressing your feelings, having good news, expressing yourself with eloquence, and being creative. So I'm going to take a look at this transit and break it for all 12 signs as per usual. Welcome to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. I hope you stick around. And if you've been here for a while, as always, please support me by leaving a like, a comment, like this live. I am going live. I didn't mention that, I don't think. Yeah, like the live, hype the videos, whatever you can do is great. You can also say thank you. I think this live allows you to say thank you and show your support that way. As always, you can work with me by visiting my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, to book a personal reading, to join my upcoming predictive course, to pick up any of my magical creations, such as my planner or my candles. I currently have Venus going for Venus, and I have Mercury going for Mercury Retrograde. I don't go too far without my candles, so highly recommend that you get them as well. So this transit is happening. Let me share my screen so we dive right away and share where you're watching from. Share your rising signs with me. That is always fun to know, so I know who I'm talking to and when I might get to your rising sign. I'm just gonna adjust my screen real quick. So the exact aspect is happening on Monday, November 24th at 8:51 p.m. Eastern. And you should now be able to see the chart. As you can tell, we have Venus here at 22 degrees 45 minutes Scorpio and Mercury moving backwards, retrograding towards 22 degrees 45 minutes Scorpio. So even though this is exact on November 24th, 8:51 p.m. Eastern, you begin to feel it 2 days before and 2 days after. If we travel backwards 2 days, the two are about 4 degrees apart, which is a decent range. We kind of want 3 degrees is really, really close, but 4 means that they're already pretty close. And then if we travel a couple of days after the 24th, we will see that by the 26th, they kind of get 4 degrees apart as well. So very strong on Monday, November 24th, really super strong Sunday 23rd into Tuesday, November 25th, and then 2 days on each side. I would give it a range for sure. And with Mercury, we have the planet of the mind, communication, messages, news, transport, negotiations. And Venus is the planet of charm, love, and beauty and connection. And when the two are coming together, you are likely to receive important messages, right? Faded messages, as I titled this live. There is potentially opportunities to tell someone you love them, or to hear from someone that they love you, or receive a sense of affirmation, right? The universe confirming you in a way. What is beautiful at this point is Venus coming together, but Venus is moving towards a grand water trine. Grand water trine is something I've been talking about for the last almost month, I think, because we started having the first grand water trine in late October, and now it is returning again, yet again. We're going to continue having this energy active until early December. So not only there is an opportunity for good news, but there's also supportive energy when it comes to expansion and growth of Jupiter and stability and structure of Saturn. So really good time to put your feelings into words and ask people for favors, express affection, express love. Ask, like I said, ask for favors, reach out to people that you want to work with, collaborate with people. Your words are extra eloquent and charming, which is also really good for writing. It's really good for going on social media and using your hands to create something, right? Like if you are a seamstress, for example, taking a piece of clothing and turning it into an extra beautiful piece of clothing. Really good for negotiating, really good for making purchases, perhaps. Of course, we are in the retrograde, so there's always this kind of be careful that you don't overspend or make reckless choices. So be careful. And I also like this for any kinds of like social events, networking, going out, connecting with people, of course, romantically for dating and maybe reaching out to someone from your past or hearing from someone from your past, a friend, a supporter, an ally, a partner, and just having a really happy moment. Okay, you guys are saying we have a Taurus rising and Scorpio sun. Okay, for you, it's all in the seventh house of relationships and partnerships. Andron is a Sagittarius rising. North Node in the first, Gemini Sun, Mercury, Mars, seventh. Okay, that's all of the things. Watching from Arizona. Yeah, if you guys are just joining, let me know where you're watching from. If you want to work with me one-on-one, visit my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, to book a reading. My predictive course ends in March 2026. So there's a lot of ways to work with me. And so we're going to take a look at the 12 rising signs and see how this might be showing up for you, how this might be manifesting, and what kind of themes and what kind of blessings you might be expecting from this transit. So in order to do that, I will back it up. And let me actually pull up my timestamp document so I can also take notes, and then I don't need to look for them for people who are watching the replay of this. So thank you for your patience, everyone. So for Aries rising, Mercury and Venus are coming together in the 8th house. And if you're someone who's waiting for a loan to come through or you're applying for a scholarship, this might be the time you hear back about it. This could also be a good time to research and perhaps figure out good investments for you, because Mercury in Scorpio gives this power of the mind. It rules your 3rd house of communication, day-to-day life, and logistics, and it rules your 6th house of problem solving, and Venus rules the house of relationships and the house of money. So I really like this. And Venus and Mercury in the 8th is also really powerful for partnerships, because Mercury can allow you to come with a synthesis of an idea that you wouldn't have come up with on your own when you are working with somebody else. And then Venus allows you to express that synthesis beautifully. So collaborating, working with other people, making financial decisions, be sort of aware of the retrograde, right? Like, do not maybe rush to make a major investment, but do research. And hearing also maybe from old collaborators, exploring old partnerships. But it's a beautiful energy for like building things, building intimacy in a relationship, or building a creative partnership, because Mercury Venus together in the 8th is just really potent in terms of, what can you bring to the table? What can I bring to the table? And how can together we work on it? So this transit reads as good news, opportunities to work with others, opportunities to make investments or hear back from people that perhaps you want to work with. Okay, we have an Aquarius rising. Shay Lim, welcome. Sophie saying I'm waiting for registration. Irene is watching from Greece. How exciting. And you're an Aries sun and rising. Okay, Irene, I'd love to know how this resonates for you. As always, for those interested in more, visit my website and join my course coming up in March. It's all going to be about predictive astrology. Anastasiadoesastrology.com. Next, we have Taurus rising. So for Taurus risings, Mercury and Venus are coming together in the 7th house. Venus is your chart ruler. So it's really important because Venus is guiding you towards relationships and partnerships and contracts and agreements. And so here, and Venus also rules your house of work, right? So maybe you are finding yourself in a position to renegotiate some kind of contract and hearing good news and maybe receiving exciting opportunities. 7th house deals with business. And this could be an exciting business development, especially, again, if we're looking at Jupiter trining this from your 3rd house and Saturn trining this from the 11th, working in tandem with other people, getting a better rate for some kind of, like maybe if you're looking at your mortgage or your lease and trying to renegotiate it. So, really beautiful for that. And of course, we have Mercury retrograding in the 7th. You may hear from someone from your past. You may receive a message from an ex that perhaps you didn't hear from for a while, or get a chance to perhaps express your feelings in an existing relationship and talk over something that has seemed perhaps difficult in the past, right? Mercury and Venus together. Mercury soothe over the discomfort. So making amends, expressing feelings in relationships, moving relationships forward, finding more intimacy and closeness, all of that is highly likely. And if this is resonating with you, please share. You can say thank you by tipping me. There is a little $ as a thank you button if it's resonating with you. And you can also visit my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com, for more personal advice. If you are a Gemini rising, Mercury and Venus come together in your house of health, work, and service. And so this is great for professional news, especially if you're looking for work, if you're applying for jobs, if you're waiting on a raise potentially. I like this as an opportunity to hear back and maybe talk to a boss or someone in power, someone, maybe even people you work with, and build a better relationship. 6th house sometimes is more connected to people you employ. So, feeling a sense of closeness and connection in your professional relationships, receiving validation for the work that you've been doing. Health wise, right? If you are a Gemini rising and Mercury is your chart ruler and it's retrograde, if there has been any sort of health upset and concern, Mercury Venus can bring a sense of relief and offer good news in regards to health and maybe some type of like validation again at work in terms of health, in terms of your relationships at work. Venus rules your house of romance and pleasure, and she also rules your 12th house of self-defeating tendencies. So I wonder if this is perhaps another sense of message coming through about where you are overindulging, because as Venus rules your 5th, there might be excess, and the 12th, there might be some kind of excess and overindulgence that is not serving you. So perhaps Mercury Venus is an opportunity to fine tune and adjust when it comes to health. And of course, Mercury is your chart ruler in the house of home and family ruler. So maybe it's also about some type of, 6th house really deals with things we pour a lot of attention into, things that we bleed over, sweat over. So sometimes Mercury Venus conjunction can offer us some type of answer in regards to your health, like I said, work, or maybe even home family, because Mercury rules your 4th house. Bangalore Tarot Lounge says hello from Bangalore. Hi. We also have Leo rising and moon, sun and Scorpio. 68 Mustang Gal says Gutierrez Susie is a Gemini rising Cancer sun. How does this resonate for you? Tara! Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Okay, Tara is like right in time for Cancer rising. Okay, let me just note the timestamp. If you are a Cancer rising, Mercury and Venus are coming together in your fifth house of romance, pleasure, parenthood, and children. Venus is in her joy in the fifth house for you guys until November 29th. So she's encouraging Cancer risings to open themselves up to fun, right? Through different ways, through different outlets. For some of you, this could be about creative self expression. Venus and Mercury can bring forth a new idea, a birth of a new passion, new old, right? Mercury is retrograding. So Mercury retrograde can be reminding you of something you left behind, something you've forgotten, pleasure that you may be finding in dancing, singing, knitting, whatever it might be. Um, there is certain intensity to this conjunction. There is certain, I think we're all feeling it on many levels, right? We just had a new moon in opposition to Uranus. These planets are in Scorpio. So perhaps you're finding healthy outlets for the passion and the intensity you're feeling. And of course, last but not least, potentially the biggest manifestation of this is love, because fifth house is connected to sex and play and pleasure and passion. And so Venus, Mercury together can, from the very little thing as like a good conversation with your partner, a good conversation with your child, right? Feeling a sense of connection and love for your child, to maybe like a relationship, a budding relationship, somebody telling you they like you and you feeling it back, and perhaps getting exciting news in that regard. And Tara, as a Cancer rising, is getting ready for her Venus date. Today is a Venus day, so it's a really great time to go out and either take yourself out on a day, get yourself some flowers, or wear something pink, wear something green. Green is the color of Venus, and and eat something delicious as well. So Tara, as a Cancer rising, says it's resonating. Glad to hear. And I hope your Friday date goes well, your Venus date goes well. So if you guys ever want to work with me, visit my website. I highly recommend Venus candles right now and Mercury candles. That's actually the two I have lit up behind me, because Mercury is retrograde and Venus is in the sign of her detriment. So it might be harder to get the levels right because intensity is overwhelming. And yeah, at anastasiadoesastrology.com, you can register for my upcoming predictive astrology course, and you can book a personal reading, which is always fun. Always fun, always great. If you are a Leo rising, for Leo rising, this conjunction is happening in the fourth house, the domain of home, family, comfort, and security. And Venus rules the house of career and the house of business, schedule, writing, siblings, neighbors. And then Mercury rules the house of friendships, alliances, and the house of money. And interestingly enough, these two meet in the fourth house. So I wonder if this is about finding more opportunities to have fun in the home. Maybe it has to do with working from home more. Maybe it has to do with a sense of like good news or some type of positive development involving your parents. If a parent was sick, for example, they get healthier. Maybe you're finding ways to beautify your home. And let's say you and your sibling go buy new pillowcases and new duvet cover, and you're like, oh, let's add some color. Let's bring some lightness, some beauty there. Venus, Mercury in the fourth can also be a sense of like, fourth house is a deep, very sort of private, personal, childhood type of home, type of house. And so Venus and Mercury can suggest that you're looking back, right? Mercury is retrograding. You're looking back at the past and you're reflecting on maybe difficult moments in childhood in your life, and you're feeling okay about it. You're feeling like things happen, it's going to be fine, and there's a sense of hopefulness and maybe nostalgia, right? And it can it can also turn into like a creative opportunity here, as maybe you decide to write a story of your family, or somehow maybe write a letter to your parents. You don't have to send it, you don't have to tell them how you're feeling, but I think it's like anything from positive conversations with family and home improvement opportunities to perhaps an inner sense of like ease and comfort. Uh, Mustang Gal says, hello from the beautiful Gulf Coast of Alabama. Hi. And then you're saying, thank you so much for all you do. My Scorpio sun is conjunct with Mercury and Neptune in the fourth house. Oh, so you are a Leo rising. Did you say? You did say Leo rising and moon. Yeah. So how is it feeling for you, Mustang Gal? 68 Mustang Gal. Does it feel like there is a lot of questions coming up for like home and family matters? Are you looking for a new definition of comfort and security, perhaps? For more, as I've been saying, visit my website and book a personal reading. You can also say thank you on this video. There is a little dollar sign that allows you to tip me and show your appreciation if you were so inclined. No pressure, of course. Okay, we're moving on to Virgo rising. If you are a Virgo rising, you are, of course, ruled by Mercury. So this is your chart ruler coming together with Venus. And Mercury in your chart rules you and your career. It rules you and your public life. And Venus rules your house of money and your house of education, travel, publishing, teaching, learning. And so the two are coming together in the third house. And this could be an exciting positive news involving a writing project. This could be a chance to take an exam if you are, let's say you have a driving test. And so Venus and Mercury come together and you go and take this test and you get just the nicest driving instructor and like really sweet person who likes you and supports you, and you feel relaxed with them, and it makes it easier to take that test. There may also be some professional developments, maybe a chance to express your feelings, right? Like Mercury in the third, you're being pensive and introspective and you're saying something, and it allows you to have more clarity in a relationship with a sibling, in a relationship with an ally, a friend, a colleague. I like this for creative ideas. Again, because Mercury is retrograde, it almost feels like you are maybe reviving an old project and maybe feeling inspired. This can also be really great for working with other people on your business, on your writing project. Even if you have some kind of like educational initiative, something that you're looking to launch, this is potentially a great time to, if not launch it yet, but to put out the feelers and reach out to people and ask people for support. Another way I can see this for Virgo risings is like a fun event in the neighborhood, a fun place to go, and maybe you're putting yourself out there, right? And going to see some people. And if you are a Virgo rising, please share. I would be very curious to know how this shows up in your life. For more, visit anastasiadoesastrology.com, book your personal reading, and join my predictive course, or pick up any of my lovely creations. Mercury in Virgo is awesome for this. If you are a Libra rising, for Libra risings, this activates the second house of money and values. So Mercury's retrograde, you're being a little bit introspective about how you make money. You're maybe questioning your next professional steps. You're maybe rethinking your investments. Oh, thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much for the tip. I really appreciate that. You're saying I'm a Virgo rising with Sun, Venus, Pluto, and Scorpio with the Moon in Aquarius. Thank you. So for Libra risings, this could be about looking at your finances and maybe getting some type of reward I can see this as a bonus. I can see this as an opportunity maybe to like apply for something, right? Some type of financial, either actual bonus or an opportunity to like reach for something larger and bigger. Could definitely be good news about a loan being approved, debt being forgiven, some kind of lottery winning. There is this, I just kind of, I hesitate saying that it's definitely a thing happening yet because Mercury is retrograde. That's why it could be a hint of something exciting happening, right? But you have to put in the work. I also really like this for affirmation. Like having Mercury and Venus conjoining in your second house feels like you are, even if you're not yet perfectly clear on where you're going, you're getting good news. You're getting a sense of validation, whether it is from people supporting your work and sending you happy notes and happy messages. Let's say you just launched a business and you're getting your first client and they recommend you to their friend and you get a second client. So there might be some kind of sense of like you're on the right path. The universe believes in you and encourages you, and a boost in confidence and self-worth that I think can come out of this. Mustang Gal, who is a Leo rising, right? You are a Leo rising, says, yes, getting ready to sell my home of many years after my husband passed away 8 years ago. So sorry to hear that. It's time to downsize and find a new place to better suit my needs, thinking about many things from my past. Okay. Yeah, that is very on point with Mercury Venus conjunction in the fourth house. Yeah, so interesting because you're reflecting on the past. And so that's the retrograde element and trying to rethink what home is and what comfort and security is for you. Nicole Paulina is asking, any chance you share how to stay intact over the next few weeks? By intact, do you mean just sort of not blow up because of all the feelings? Fox CJ says Libra rising at 25 degrees, Venus and Scorpio 22. Oh, that's not just Venus Mercury, but it's a Venus Mercury conjunct your natal Venus. And you're saying finances are heavily on my mind. Me too. As a Libra rising, it has been on my mind for sure. And just like looking for new ways of using astrology. And so far, it hasn't been like it's been a little bit not great. I'm still learning things. Um, Nicole says, okay, relationship wise, Venus conjunct Pluto square Aquarius. Venus conjunct Pluto square Aquarius? Do you mean Venus conjoins your Pluto square Pluto in Aquarius? So, that's a good question. I mean, how do you stay how do you stay intact in relationships? I think I think breathing, I think meditating is important, right? Like I find myself getting so irritable if I haven't meditated, if I haven't given myself grace and haven't spent time filling my cup. So I think my advice would be take care of yourself. I have candle recommendations as always. Venus and Libra is great for relationships. Venus and Taurus is great for relationships, especially while Venus is in the sign of her detriment and even in December because Venus will be squaring Saturn and Neptune. So Venus candles are great for love. You can find them at anastasiadoesastrology.com. And yeah, I think my biggest advice is like make sure you breathe and take care of yourself and be compassionate, I think, with yourself first and foremost. And when I meditate, I use Headspace app a lot. And there is this message oftentimes that there is no different kinds of love. There is no way that you can like love someone but not love yourself because love is love. And if you love yourself, then that love ends up showing up in relationships too. So focus on loving yourself. And then in the process, when you build that love, it starts to spill out and everything else, I think, feels better in the process too. So this was a long Libra rising section because we talked about a lot of different other things. Nicole says, so true, hard to channel that energy with these natal placements, intense. Yeah, I understand, but all the more reason to do it, right? If you are a Scorpio rising, for you, it's happening in the first house. Mercury and Venus come together, and Venus is the ruler of your seventh house of relationships. So it can have a very strong connection to your partnerships and your relationships, and can potentially be about manifesting someone or something. So if you've been focusing on manifesting love, Mercury Venus can bring a message from someone who is maybe not yet your partner but has good potential. So be open, keep your eyes and ears open. This can also be about maybe a creative project as well, because with Venus you are looking for um artistic self-expression, you're looking at inspiration, and Mercury can offer some ideas, and then Venus could be like, let's take it and run with it. This is also, of course, your house of health and wellness and identity and style. So Mercury and Venus together could be like, oh, how about I color my hair pink? um with the retrograde, watch out that you're not making changes to your appearance that you cannot take back. Be mindful and thoughtful about the appearance transformations you're making, right? Like, it's okay to get a piercing because eventually you can take it out, but maybe don't like get a full body tattoo if you've always been anti tattoos and it's something that will be a lot harder to transform later on. Just be thoughtful with that. And then Mercury rules your house of partners, money, and your house of networks and friendships. And like I said, Venus rules your seventh house of relationships and your 12th house of spirituality and mental health. So it can also be a sign of maybe collaborations and partnerships with friends, maybe opportunity to make investments. Additionally, I can see. If you are a Scorpio rising, share. If you're seeking more, visit my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. Book your personal reading on there so you can talk to me face to face, or register for my upcoming predictive astrology course. It's going to be great. If you are a Sagittarius rising, there you are. If you are a Sagittarius rising, Mercury and Venus are coming together in your 12th house, the house of blind spots and self defeating tendencies. And so this is very illuminating in terms of two things, I think. Number one would be all the ways in which you sabotage yourself when it comes to relationships. Mercury rules your house of relationships. In terms of your health, Venus rules your house of health. In terms of your friendships and work, because well. So realizing something self-defeating, right? Realizing that you're maybe deeply passionate, but you tend to not express your feelings. Maybe you tend to be a little bit nonchalant and avoidant of conflict. And so Mercury Venus can come in and you're like, oh, I actually do care. I actually should express my feelings. And then number two could be a discovery of some sorts. It could be a discovery of an interest. We have the ruler of the 11th and the 10th, a career path, a passion that you've been maybe suppressing. And so there may be some kind of message through your dreams or a chance encounter that reveals a yearning for something beyond, right? There may be astrology becomes more dominant on your mind, and you decide to join Anastasia's predictive astrology course that begins in March. Or you discover your love for tarot and decide to start pulling cards every day. Um, Maybe you decide to volunteer, right? There may be some kind of exciting discovery that happens in private through your dreams and through even therapy. Like Mercury Venus can be very interesting and also rewarding, I think, in the long run when it comes to relationships and partnerships. There may be some healing that is happening here as well, and a chance to release things that do not serve you. We have Claudia watching from Romania. That is awesome. Welcome, Claudia. And for any of you who are watching, if this is resonating, if you want to say thank you, you can also tip me. There's a little dollar sign to say thank you. That will be greatly appreciated. And, if you can also just send me a like, tap the like of this live. That is awesome as well. Whatever you guys can do, I am thankful. You are great. If you are a Capricorn rising, for Capricorn risings, this activates the 11th house. So this is really powerful for friendships, networks, hopes and dreams, and alliances. I love this for scheduling a party, going to people who they know. Honestly, even if it's about love, or you're looking for a writing partner, or you're looking for a contact for a job, Venus rules your 10th house of career, right? Mercury rules your ninth house of publishing and writing. So there is a lot of opportunities that are coming through your relationships. And of course, there is this trine to Jupiter, trine to Saturn. So whatever you're trying to grow, it is a good time to just ask around, to speak it into existence, because you also have the charm of Venus. You have the eloquence that Venus offers. So powerful for asking for favors, powerful for taking a friendship and moving it to the next level and turning it into a collaboration, or asking a friend out if you're so inclined, right? Of course, Mercury is retrograde, and sometimes it could be a little bit more about thinking things, calling them to happen, and then waiting until Mercury goes direct until it actually manifests. But if there is something you're working on already, something you've been already exploring, like a new podcast, a new writing project, or a business idea, do ask for it. Do go into your friendship circle, post something on social media, ask people for advice in your stories. All of this is going to be beneficial right now. And if you are in Capricorn, a Capricorn rising, do share. For more, visit my website to book a personal reading. Pick up a Mercury or Venus candle. They're perfect for November and December, as well as Mercury and Venus and the sun and the moon and Mars. Everything will be squaring Saturn. December has a bit of an irritating energy, not gonna lie. A lot of red lights in December. So you might want to get like a Venus, Mercury, or the moon candle. Those are great too. If you are an Aquarius rising, Mercury and Venus come together in your 10th house, career, status, reputation, public life, right? The two activate your house of career. Mercury has, of course, been retrograding through here for the last few days. It's been making you question your professional goals and what is it that you're doing. Maybe encourage you to deal with some misunderstandings at work. And so, if it is about misunderstandings, Venus can help smooth things over. She can help you problem solve and express yourself with charm and confidence and eloquence. And so, you may find yourself being kind of a diplomat at work. Maybe you're telling people good news, maybe you're receiving good news from bosses. Rewards, compliment professionally may feel you more empowered and encouraged. And even if you are confused in terms of work right now, or if you're in somehow like in some in between state, Mercury Venus as an important conversation can guide you towards your next steps and can offer you maybe opportunities to like enhance and grow your professional life. There may also be creative opportunities professionally. Perhaps your job is putting on a fair of some sorts, and you're getting to create for it, or you're getting to do some type of, an exciting project that requires your creative talents and gifts. And again, maybe that's something that encourages you to begin writing for a living or discover a new passion. I like this. I do like this for any kind of like work conversations, asking for a raise, applying for a job, um, asking for more responsibilities, maybe reaching out, asking for favors when it comes to your business, launching things. Of course, Mercury is retrograde. So don't launch a brand new thing. But if it's something you've been working on for a while and you want to shop around and reach out and ask people for help, that's a great time. Do share if you are on Aquarius rising. And for more, visit my website to book your personal reading or join my upcoming predictive astrology course. Do we have any Pisces risings in the house? If you are a Pisces rising, Mercury and Venus are coming together in your 9th house, the house of long journeys and spiritual philosophical inquiry, travel, learning, teaching, faith, and religion. And so this could be very literally manifesting through you get an A on your exam if you're in school, you get a teacher or a guru or a guide empowering you and encouraging you and believing in you, helping you feel more aligned. And by guru, that could be your friend, that could be your partner, that could be your boss, right? Anyone who you hold in high regard. Education wise, as we talked about Virgo rising, similarly for Pisces rising, taking an exam, finishing a course, signing up for a course. Don't forget that I'm teaching astrology, continuing to teach. My predictive level 2 course begins in March 2026. Give it a look, check it out. So launching things in terms of like soul searching as well can show up here, right? Because this is a very spiritual house. It's not always very visible, but Mercury, Venus together can suggest that your beliefs are transforming, that you're perhaps discovering more faith in yourself, more confidence in yourself, that you're maybe allowing yourself to have a little bit more fun with Jupiter in your 5th house. Saturn has been in your 1st since March 2023. So how has your life changed? How much have you changed in terms of your priorities and, putting maybe yourself first and figuring out how to take care of yourself? So there might be a lot of kind of spiritual questions around what is beauty in life and what is the most important in life. Mercury rules your house of relationships and your house of home and family. So could you be moving as well with Mercury and Venus? Good news about getting an apartment, getting a lease, updating your living situation somehow. Venus rules your 3rd house of communication, business, short trips, and your 8th house of debts, loans, taxes, and finances. Maybe there's also some kind of financial opportunity to learn more and to learn more, take some kind of leap of faith, I think. And for some of you, it can also be about like religious or spiritual discovery, as you maybe discover Buddhism or Taoism or get more connected with your faith or your spiritual beliefs. So that's what I have for Pisces risings. If you are a Pisces rising, do share. This was a lot of fun for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, my website is where you go for more advice, more beautiful things like my planner, my candles. To work with me, all of it is on there. I am next week, I'm going to be posting videos. I don't know if I think I'm doing a live on Monday next week. Live readings. Those are donation based. You can secure your spot by sending a donation. Information is in that live. And I'll be posting more videos, of course. So thank you as always for your support. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Leave me a like, a comment, hype my videos. please do. This is, I think, pretty easy because you just go to the bottom of the video, scroll a little bit, and there's going to be a hype option. You can hype up to 3 videos per week. So please choose mine. And I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you to those of you that send me a tip. Thank you, Nicole, Paulina, and enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you soon. Bye.